Hi guys, Hero of the Week is unfortunately unknown. We never got his name, but perhaps he will come forward and talk a bit more about how austerity has resulted in the death of a young girl this week as crime is on the rise. The man was in the audience at Question Time, where he delivered a passionate speech about the steps that led up to the killing of a teenage girl in Croydon on Wednesday. Tory cuts over the last 13 years to youth services and community policing has led to this. Have a listen.
Young people since 1985. So I've seen a systematic change in the way that young people and adults interact. Mark, I have to say, please stop using statistics to defend the undefensible. You've stripped local government of youth services. You've taken responsibility away from councils that had proper youth provisions that the communities were a part of. I've grown up in Manchester, I'm nearly 60. So they had MAGs, which is the multi-agency gang, where Mossad was going crazy. They had community members, they had youth workers, they had social workers, they had a whole range of professionals and people involved in the community. And the community could police themselves. But the Conservative government, through austerity and these give police back the powers, you had community policemen who knew the community, who knew the people, but you're ramping up powers and you're forgetting people. It's people, and all you're interested in is the law and punishment. Whereas if you talk to people, I've been into jail with young people that are in jail, and you talk to them as a human being and you show them the consequences of their actions. Even in gang culture, there's rules, there's regulations, but you just don't see that and you don't hear that because one, it doesn't touch your life, and two, it's a party political vote and a game. So stop playing politics with people's lives, because you'll say tomorrow, oh, no, you do.
Well said, well said. Playing politics with people's lives. Now, there's a really powerful part of this speech that he made that I think is the fundamental part, about how austerity has led to a breakdown in the community. A breakdown in community relations, especially those with the police. So if you cut public services, you cut funding to councils, and councils have services for young people, to keep them off the streets, to keep them out of the grip of these gangs. If you cut that, then the young people have nothing. They have nothing to do, and they're of course open to these gangs, to be recruited, to get involved in crime, but also to see this as a glamorous lifestyle. You need people like this man in the community explaining to young people there is another way. You don't want to end up in prison. You don't want your life destroyed. But that requires funding. It requires the police working with the community and the community working with the police. You need to invest in that. And instead, what the Tories are doing in two ways. They're first cutting public services, so that you don't have the money available for councils to create services for young people and recruit people like this man who know what he's talking about. And second, you don't have this community policing. You don't have the community and the police working together. And instead you have a crackdown on crime, trying to punish these people more. There's a serious problem with knife crime in London. And the Tory response is, well, we need to get tougher on it. Instead of actually investing in the resources, listening to the people on the ground, giving them the tools they need to help resolve this problem. Instead, it's, we need to be tougher. We need to punish these people. We need to put them in prison longer. Instead of actually asking the questions, how do we get to this stage? Why are people doing this? Why are young people walking around with knives? Why do young people feel that it's perfectly okay to do that and to attack others using these instruments? And of course, he said perfectly that the politicians don't understand this problem because it's not in their community. They're far away from this problem. That's why it's so important to empower community organizers, people in the community who understand what the young people are going through. Maybe they've gone through it themselves, understand why young people are in prison and why they resort to these types of actions. But once again, that requires investment and it requires a bit of humanity, which is in short supply. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. And once again, this is our hero of the week, but unfortunately, we never got his name.